There was an article in the New York Times yesterday said that's called "Yoga Teachers Need a Code of Ethics." Yeah, and so we've seen this kind of thing many times in different spiritual groups and so on. And so she details the bad behavior of some yoga teachers and so on, and some of her own experience with it, and how it, with herself, when things happen, then she wound up losing her yoga community. So it was painful, not only because of the relationship with the teacher, but also it ruined her relationship with her community. And so she's saying that, the yoga, they need to have a code of conduct, for what they're doing. So I've talked about this kind of thing before with the community after seeing what happened with the Catholic Church and things going on there. And so looking at, what we're doing here. And so the Vinaya, I think, gives us our code of conduct and also what to do in cases of breach of code of conduct. And so we have our root precepts, we have our auxiliary precepts, and things are made very clear, from our side, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. Yeah, and then it's our own individual responsibility to keep our precepts. And then if there's a broken precept, according to Vinaya, the person is to confess it to the community, or depending, if it's a serious precept, it's confessed to the community. If it's a break of a root vow, you say to the community and you're finished. If it's a more minor precept, you can say to one individual, and if it's just a thing about etiquette, you can confess yourself to the Buddha. So there's all these methods according to the degree of severity of transgression of how you make amends. And if a person doesn't make amends or doesn't confess what they've done, and another person knows about it, that other person is to bring it up to the community. Yeah, and this is the whole injunction about, they use the word admonish, but it means advising, So if, especially the Sangha are about advising people and questioning them if they indeed did something and if they're going to confess it or not. And so if people refuse, they're angry, they're stubborn, they refuse to confess what they've done, then it's a very serious transgression. It's a Sangha. And, then they lose their monastic privileges for a certain period of time. They have to stay at the end of the line. They're not counted as a member of the quorum. There's all these things that kind of happen. So the person gets the idea that this was really bad behavior. And until the person acknowledges that they did it, they cannot be rehabilitated and, have the manata and come back and be a regular member of the community again. Yeah, so that whole structure is all set up in the Vinaya. And we also know that if somebody does something that breaks a state law, a federal law, something like that, then we have to notify the authorities. I mean, there's many rules about that. And that, you can't just, as tempting as an organization may find it so that it doesn't lose its reputation, hide something under the table. There are many laws that say we have to notify the authorities. In addition to that, we also have certain things here at the Abbey, certain guidelines. So, for example, we decided when very seldom do we have young children come here, but when they do, if they want to go in Ananda Hall to see the kiddies, that it's not just one monastic that takes them in. We ask their parent to come in also, and that, so, not because we think that the Sangha is going to misbehave, but sometimes people misunderstand things and we don't want to create causes for suspicion. Yeah, so we always have the parent with the child. If we're talking to somebody from a member of the opposite sex, we do so in a public place or outdoors, or if it's a private consultation where people want to talk about their private problem, we do it in a room like the library or Kuan Yin Hall, where there's a window so people can look in, so you can still, somebody can talk about it where other people won't hear, but people, and it's a public area, they can walk in and see what's going on. So we try and have all these kind of mechanisms set up. And it's also very clear, the men do not go into the nuns' quarters, the women do not go into the men's quarters, and so we have multiple safeguards, But it's always good, I wanted to bring this up because it's always good to remind people about these things and to really turn to the Vinaya for information about how to handle them. And also to let the people who are watching this know that this is something that the community actively discusses and actively has a handle on, so there's no kind of, well, we just assume everything's okay, but we never really talk about this kind of stuff because it's very much in the news and we have to be responsible. And so, we are talking about it. Okay, I'll leave the article out, you can read it. I didn't feel, it has a lot of details of people's names that I don't think it's important to read over here, but I think you get the idea about what happened. Yeah.
So we had a discussion about transgender,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it was conclusive on how we treat transgenders.
Yeah. Okay. So there's transgender before surgery and transgender after surgery. Okay. So before surgery, then we've had a few transgender people come here, and they stay in the quarters according to the gender they identify with. And we found that most of those people are quite discreet and quite sensitive to their situation, and so there hasn't been any difficulty with that. Okay, so I just thought I'd tell one little story, because we often have a situation, when we go out where men want to hug us, and what we've decided is that we will shake hands, and then at posada time or confession time, we acknowledge that we've shaken hands. And sometimes we're not able to negotiate the situation, so somebody kind of hugs us, and we also acknowledge that at our confession time. So when I was just in Portland, because they all hug each other there, when I was having lunch, and then one of the young men who had just graduated, he was leaving, and so I stood up to say goodbye, and he said, "Can I hug you?" And I just stood there. I didn't kind of know what to do, and everybody was looking, and I didn't realize that. But he said, "Can I hug you?" And I went, "Actually, no." And everybody cracked up laughing because of the way I said it. And then I said, "I can give you a long distance hug." And I went like this, And so, everybody thought that was hilarious. But it was forthcoming, and everybody was okay with it. In some situations, it's difficult. See, he was very polite and he asked, so I could say, "Actually, I can't hug you." But some people, already hugging you, and then it's, you know, a little bit difficult sometimes. But we don't hug back, and that usually gives them the feeling that maybe next time. Uh-huh.
Is it okay to hug the same gender,
Yeah,
or is it discouraged, like anybody?
it's okay to hug people the same gender, but if you're gay, then advise not to. Okay? Simply because of your own practice, and then also if other people know that you're gay, then their minds could start working overtime.
Remember you demonstrating a TP hug.
TP hug.
Oh yeah, that when you hug people, even the women, you know, you bend over, so you're kind of, you know, like this. But if people are trying to hug you full body, where your whole body is touching, even as a woman, that's just inappropriate. And we talked about that because there was somebody who who was straight, but she liked to hug us that way, and it was really uncomfortable.
When you go to the Catholic Church, they have the part of the service where you shake hands with others. Not when I was a kid, but for decades now. But my mom, being elderly, doesn't want to get germs. So, and I usually don't shake hands that much, so I tend to bow. But a lot of times I'll shake hands. But I tend to put my hands together and do Anjali bow. And my mom just thought, that is so much nicer. You don't have to exchange germs.
So your mom started?
She doesn't really extend her hand, so it would be good if she did that. She didn't. She just thought it was a very, very nice idea. Very practical. It's funny.
I've got a quick story too.
Uh-huh.
So we're waiting for the shear bolts to come via UPS, and we know our driver is Scott. So I saw the UPS truck come, and I was so happy about the shear bolts coming for the tractor. So I ran out and I said, "Scott, you're here!" And he went like this, and I just, I'm so happy to see the shear bolts. He got it.